was any come our channel so I'll say age politics avenue. Podcast source training because speaking headlines. And I would be exum one. I'm say young call a year Kofi Bento, Vice President, Imani Ghana, Africa. I beg your pardon, Imani Africa, Australia. Na Sedina Tamakloe na semono. And I meno say what mean a link to a year can offer at a year on also extradition. Now, sema walking in say na eno a year roadblock for Ken Ofori Atta to be extradited. Na project a year fry bi dia to a year abonten so a onua yedi bi exum wo na wachire se Sedina atienu absence was an impediment to the prosecution against Ken Ofori Atta. Na di ntia papa ne ekasa no mesrew se yembo inra ensemnim na yenhwe di ntra okase Sedina Tamakloe se yede no every eye amonone aba eye omayim se omra 10 years sentence no na eno eye akwansidi ema eye Ken Ofori Atta yemonra na so ye na yenje na dwenkyere di ntia okasa ensimusi ha age politics avenue yemonra nsimnim
of the others, because they can tell you strike down your law or strike down your action if you are the executive. Okay, but where you have a situation where in the past they call them unanimous 7 or something like that, and now in this government I am making this point of fact. It looks as if that the politicians make promises and then the judiciary delivers it. Look at CJ. Let me finish. Look at CJ Tokono. Politicians make a promise. Politicians say things. They make it clear. When we get into office, we are coming after you. They get into office and a number of things happen, and the kinds of things that they were alluding to happen. Then you look at GN Bank. President Mahama talks at length. Conclusion, all of it is that when we come back, we are going to give back some of these licenses. GN Bank is seen around going back and forth and whatever. By the way, I have no personal problem against them. Okay? I just, believe that they had a bad strategy, but that's another matter. Now, he makes those political promises, which may be founded or otherwise. My worry is that then the judiciary tends to, or looks like they are delivering those promises. When a judge gives a judgment, the judgment can be criticized. Actually, it must be criticized. It is advisable that we all look at those things and we speak to them. That GN Bank ruling is no. Let me finish.
Because that's the whole topic on this.
No. I'm making the point. The point I am making is that you have situations where a politician makes a promise, and when they make the promise, it looks as if the judiciary delivers the promise. And I'm using GN Bank as an example. That we had the president and co make the promise or restore licenses. The matter goes to court, and then there's a judgment which I can't understand. But it ends up delivering that promise. I am saying all these things because of the suspicions being raised around Sedina. Okay? People believe she will not see a day in jail and whatever it is. Look, we need to do things that improve or strengthen the confidence in institutions of state. The more of these that happen, the more people believe that our judiciary forgets. The more people believe that our security services forget. We just had a ruling from the Supreme Court that says that basically the Ghana police or the IGP is essentially a political office. Okay, and that the president can take them in and bring them out anytime. We are moving in a situation where everything becomes part of the political cycle. We will crack this democracy if we continue to do that. And things like Sedinam, things like Ken, and whatever it is, won't happen if we really truly believe in our justice system.
Thank you very much. And I'm running up on this, so just
myself and Richard Anyagra. I mean, just so we just so we put matters in proper perspective. Look, we've had nolle prosequi used in our courts. I recall vividly the trial of Gregory Afoko. Case had completed by Justice Ellen Mensah. Just awaiting judgment. The Republic decided to file a nolle prosequi. That is the only instance that I've seen a criminal trial concluded, awaiting judgment, and the Republic filing a nolle prosequi.
And it's wrong.
look, I didn't say it is wrong. If you are
that's
thinking,
my point.
And I'm saying that this happened under a president who is noted for the rule of law and the respect for human rights. It was justified, even when it was contested at the Supreme Court. You see, this morning, I have listened to my senior Kofi Bento. And if you look at the arguments that were postured, it is as though the contract entered into by Sedi, Ken just came and paid. No, please. For the avoidance of doubt, look, I beg you, I just want to read the records of proceeding, which is founded at volume 3 of the record. This is what transpired. You also knew from your records that the contract for the acquisition of the vehicles had been signed by your predecessor, but not a single CD had been paid by MASLOC. Is that correct? Answer, yes, my lord. This sticker under cross-examination. Answer, yes, my lord. So when the question was put to him, whether or not a single CD was paid for the 350 buses, his answer was, yes, my lord, nothing was paid. Further question.
Nothing had been paid.
Had been paid then. Further question. Your CEO had testified in this court that they renegotiated the entire contract price.
That's true.
Is that the case? Unfortunately, I cannot speak of my CEO's testimony. Now, question. I am asking you personally. MASLOC says that the contract price was renegotiated. Is that the case? Answer. From what the person gave me, yes. So, first of all, the contract was renegotiated.
By who?
So what's the point?
You renegotiated the contract.
No, the contract
and
was
so,
renegotiated by
your
who?
accusation by the MPP.
So, how could it be?
The government then, sorry. I've corrected myself. So my point is that it is not like the father just came and paid what the son entered into, by your analogy. No. The father, being a responsible one, said, parties come, let's renegotiate. Prices were knocked down, among other things. Based on the renegotiated thing, you paid for it. Meanwhile, your accusation against the person was that he contracted for and inflated the price.
So the
Pure
issue
contract.
of the inflated price was
Pure contract.
the basis for the renegotiation.
Yes. And now you negotiated and paid. And listen, Sina, please. No, Sina, yeah, you can.
Okay.
It took you 2 years. 2018, that was when you renegotiated and paid for it. Meanwhile, you convicted her on these accusations.
So you want me to clarify?
And so the point let me just conclude.
Conclude, because it's just...
I'm concluding. So let nobody create the impression. And look, they've given all MPP communicators a communication line. Oh, just say that she inflated the price of this and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, go to the record of proceeding, the cross-examination. It exposes the issues. In fact, the warrant for payment was signed by Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta 2 years after she had left office. That's also not enough. But that's renegotiated. But you see, let me just make this. This morning, my senior Kofi, oh please, I'm begging.
You were worried.
I'm not talking
on this point,
but leave that to the court.
The question
now
is
we are in court, so
whether or not this particular development actually nullifies the decision that was taken.
Yes,
no, but that's a different matter. But
okay.
I'm making the point. Let me also say this. You see, my senior says government promises and the judiciary delivers.
That is so very serious.
You see, that is please. You see, that is the communication strategy adopted by the MPP.
Hey, what's that?
And the reason why they have adopted that strategy is a very simple one. You see, he made mention. Who call communicators meeting?
You come to our meetings.
No, I've been seeing the speaking notes. I've been seeing the speaking notes. So let me proceed.
You know, the director of communication is here. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
You know, don't admit it next time. I'm running up. You see, when you make such a statement, very stripping, that the government had promised and the judiciary delivered.
I give you 2 examples.
And you liken it to the Tokonu action first, then now proceeded to GN Bank. Senior, with respect, that's going beyond the rules. That's going beyond the acceptable standard.
No, you're wrong.
And I'll explain why. Who in the NDC promised a removal of any Chief Justice? Nobody. Nobody knew that this is how a person will conduct himself, which will form the basis of an impeachment proceeding.
Contrary to a promise to remove a YC.
YC.
Well, it's
But you know,
strategic.
that's another issue.
It's
But
strategic.
so that point ought to be made clear. Nobody promised the removal.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it so happened that it has to happen. And I do know that the person of President Mahama is not a vindictive leader. And he's known that he's never been vindictive. GM Bank. Look, the Bank of Ghana took a decision. Are we by any stretch of any form of legal argument saying that a decision of the Bank of Ghana is sacrosanct? Are we saying that the decision by the Bank of Ghana is not judicially reviewable? Look, I would urge anybody, let's all have the benefit of reading the concurring judgment of my Lord Justice Achibonga.
In which case specifically?
In the GM Bank case, he makes a very compelling argument in upholding the submission of GM Bank. This is what he referenced. He says that you, government of Ghana, you owe GM Bank X amount of money. That is an asset to GM Bank.
I need to come in.
But it undermines in terms of its liability. No, I'm just saying so that it doesn't
matter that we are not. It's not before
no, but because he said, oh, but you see,
no, but his reference not in the details that he's saying. But he's supposed to conclude on the Sedina matter.
Yes,
So,
okay.
let me
Since when did you become a moderator? You know, hold on. When Mr. Bento referenced this GN Bank case, I clearly indicated it's actually a case on its own we can get into.
Yes.
Because,
are we getting into it
to
now?
say that, hold on. Because to make that particular point in concluding that it is the judiciary carrying out a particular statement.
I'm sure my senior.
I made the point and left it because you're not letting me explain.
I can explain the matter. So just leave it.
I can explain. What he's saying is what I wanted to say differently.
Okay,
but let me make my point.
Can we allow him to make his point?
Now, let me make his point. Let me conclude on this critical issue of the GM Bank, because you see,
you see. So, because you have already established that point and made let me just read a portion and let's let your viewers.
Let me make my point.
He created a mischievous punchline. But your government.
Let me explain what I'm saying.
But that is
let me see. And you see, that is why I'm saying that. You see, he is my senior at the bar. The received learning, our received learning, is to put matters in proper perspective, law and fact. So let me say this, and I'll just reference my Lord Justice Achibonga, and allow fair-minded people, and see whether this is a judiciary delivering or this is sound reason.
Issues that are of concern to you, our viewers, in Ghana and across the world are the issues that we will focus on and sink our teeth into. Good morning. Welcome. This is Key Point. A former Chief Executive Officer of the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, MASLOC, Sedina Tamakloe Ationu, was convicted of multiple counts of financial crime by the Accra High Court. 2014 landed in Ghana on Tuesday, June 9, 2026. As far as we do know now, she has been taken into custody. Her return comes at the time her lawyers have filed a comprehensive written submission before the Court of Appeal, Criminal Division, urging the appellate court to set aside her conviction and acquit her on all the charges for which she was actually convicted, and arguing that the prosecution failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt, and that the charge sheet on which she was convicted is fundamentally defective. That's the development right now with Sedina Tamakloe, and the development regarding what will be the case in the coming days. The United States has indicated, and in fact through the Minister of Government Communications, Phyllis Kwachufosu, says this development paves the way for other extradition cases between the two countries. A number of you have been pointing to the former Finance Minister, Kenneth Nanaya Okonkwo of Oriata. We'll be finding out exactly how this development impacts on his return and the latest on his case and how things are playing out in the United States. Stay with us. We'll get into it. Also, the Ashanti Regional Chair of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Ntwibwesiako, is popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. He has initiated a plea deal process with the Attorney General in the criminal case in which he and two others have been accused of defrauding the Ghana Exim, that's the Export and Import Bank, that's Exim Bank, of some 14.3 million Ghana cedis. The Attorney General's office informed the High Court in Accra about Wontumi's application in a filing dated June 11, 2026. We have a copy of that filing stating that he had commenced steps towards a plea agreement or a plea deal. Well, based on the details of the filing as we have it, the request was made through Chairman Wontumi's lawyer, Andy Apiakubi. He is going to be joining us this morning. We will get some details of why exactly they have resorted to plea deal and what outcome do they expect. The sentiments being expressed by some members in the MPP is that this is an indication of defeat, that they knew they were going to lose this case. That's why Andy Apiakubi has then entered into or applied for a plea agreement or a plea bargain with the state. Is that really the case? What was Andy Apiakubi seeing that we are not seeing? Reason why he has gone on this path with his client on the matter of the Ghana Exim Bank and Chairman Wontumi. Remember, Chairman Wontumi is standing trial for 3 cases. This Exim Bank one is one of the 3. Now, we'll have a conversation this morning when Andy Apiakubi joins me. You recall that right on that same day, he applied to, as it were, withdraw his services as lawyer for Chairman Wontumi regarding this Samuel Boy case. That's one of the 3 cases as well. Well, yesterday we got notice that the state is opposing Andy Apiakubi's motion to withdraw his services as lawyer for Chairman Wontumi. He said
we ain't some who team course or channel so mamma was so jam brother, and so bad in the Dominion. Aha, politics avenue.